I used to resist the idea that art could make us less lonely because I felt I'm not lonely. I have friends and we talk about our feelings. That is true. But even my closest friends won't reveal themselves like Roth does. They also probably couldn't, just by the fact of their more limited insight and intelligence. No offense. So let's briefly discuss Roth's skill, because technically he is brilliant. The first aspect of his skill to note is his precision. He identifies very exactly what the book is about, and he removes everything else. We see how clearly he understands his subject by his penetrating sentences. For example, "Doctor, these people are incredible. These people are unbelievable. These two are the outstanding producers and packagers of guilt in our time. They render it from me like fat from a chicken." This is what the book is about, and everything in the book is about this. Being so focused and lean is what makes the book so vital. And note, by the way, the similarity between rendering fat from a chicken and St. Aubyn sweating through his towels. The second aspect is Roth's use of voice. It is flexible and acrobatic. It allows Portnoy to have many attitudes towards the things that trouble him, and for those attitudes to shift from day to day. Towards his dad, he feels pity, then rage, then guilt, then resentment, then back again. And this is how life truly is. In fact, the changeability of our feelings is often just as troubling as the issue which they are about. Such a true picture would be impossible with lesser skill. The third aspect is his rhythm. It's masterful. It propels and lulls us, smoothing the journey across the tricky terrain we're trying to cover. This book, in the way it approaches high-stakes, shameful subjects, is like reverse cowgirl. As the risk is so high and dire, you're initially on edge, but once you're reassured that you're in safe hands and you relax, it's great, and you are led to inner peace. Doing what Roth does takes precision, flexibility, and rhythm. That's stupid. But it's no. I've got here. It's no joke. I've been reduced to tears by reverse. No, I haven't. I don't know why I wrote that. Maybe one tear once. But anyway, I know that was childish. In the last book, we began to consider the classic claim that art should disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. We've discussed now how Portnoy's complaint comforted me. It also disturbed me. To the monkey, Portnoy is hateful, sexist, and cruel. He wonders whether his mother faked her cancer for attention. In his thoughts, he blames a grieving mother for her son's suicide. He is unforgiving and callous to his parents. These are unpleasant things, but they are valuable unpleasant things because they are honest unpleasant things. We recognize that they too ring with truth. His thoughts are thoughts of the sort that people have, and of the sort that we have. We are forced to see unpalatable parts of others and of ourselves. It's important that we see the dark parts of other people so we can be ready for the world and better protect ourselves and those we care about. Perhaps the more interesting part is seeing the dark parts of ourselves. For example, I personally recognized his unsympathetic treatment of his mother as something that I'm potentially capable of. Just recently, I was complaining about how she told me, "Have you seen I bought brie for you?" When everyone in the family likes brie. And Sophie says, "You know what you're going to have for dinner?" My mother coos so lovingly to me for being such a hard-working boy. "Your favourite winter meal, lamb stew." And I've seen too many boys saying, "Mate, whatever you do, don't let me get with her tonight." And telling me, "Mate, yeah, it's great, but I think she wants more, and I'm just not sure I want that." bringing up with an abundant serving of false compunction the 1 or 2 times they've had to reject a girl, and also how upset a girl was when they broke up with her. I've seen too many boys do that to believe that none will recognise what Roth describes as the thrill of sadism with a woman. And I'm sure all the girls who have bragged to me about how they ghost boys' messages, among other things, can recognise something analogous in themselves. Now, with these unpleasant characteristics, because they're so honest, you also see them truly in a quite unforgiving light. You see how Sophie really loves Portnoy, and how he should be kinder to her. You see that the monkey ultimately means well, especially when she talks about how she'd like to move out to the country. This isn't super relevant, but I'm going to read it just because I love it so much. Wouldn't it be nice, she said, not to have to go back? Wouldn't it be nice someday to live in the country with somebody you really liked? Wouldn't it be nice just to get up full of energy when it got light and go to sleep dog-tired when it got dark? Wouldn't it be nice to have a lot of responsibilities and just go around doing them all day and not even realise they were responsibilities? Wouldn't it be nice to just not think about yourself for whole days, whole weeks, whole months at a stretch? To wear old clothes and no makeup and not to have to come on tough all the time? Time passed, she whistled. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, but the point is that the disturbing things are not totally alien to us. By their honesty, they're irresistible, and we have to acknowledge in ourselves that in ourselves there is the capacity to act similarly. Maybe you don't recognise the bad parts of the characters in Nevermind or Portnoy's Complaint in yourself. It's possible, but if you don't know the bad parts of yourself at all, I would suggest that you examine yourself immediately, because as a human you're capable of doing very bad things, and if you don't know what those things are, you're much more likely to do them. Yeah. We are far better off if we know the darker parts of ourselves. Without knowing them, we are flimsy, judgmental, unreliable, and dangerous. Knowing them, we're grounded, considerate, rooted, deep, and stable. So we followed a good path with these first 2 books. We saw first the bad that can come upon us, and then the bad that can come from us. And these are painful things to see. You might need to get the towels out. I know exactly the days in which I learned both those things, and they were certainly disturbing. The days I realised the bad I could do were probably the worst of my life, and those when I realised the bad other people could do were probably the next worst. But it's good I had them. Disturbing our complacency makes us less likely to get hurt or to hurt others. I want to amend the idea that art should disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed, because no one is comfortable or disturbed, we are all both. So let's instead say this: art should disturb us where we are comfortable and comfort us where we are disturbed. Another idea I dislike is that books are subjective or affect everyone differently. I think that renders books kind of insubstantial. I see where it comes from, though. So I propose the following conceptualization: that a book is like a center of gravity. It drags us towards it, and the book itself does not move, but we feel different things because we start in different places. But it's not subjective because it brings us all towards the same point. You know, so if part of you over here is really comfortable, it might be dragged this way towards the book. But if a part of you is really disturbed, it might be dragged this way towards the book. But the book stays in the same place. That's my idea for it. But where is the book in the kind of disturbed, comfortable axis? Well, it can be anywhere, but I think a part of what makes a great book and what makes an honest book is that it's right in the middle, on the border between comfort and disturbance. It should bring us towards that nice balance between the two. And that's really the message of the yin and yang symbol, that you have both dark and light, or order and chaos, and you're meant to be on the border, kind of in between them, because that's where complacency is invigorated and pain is soothed. There we are excited but not anxious, secure but not slothful, kind but not naive, humble but bold, brave but sympathetic, strong but patient. Life is challenging, but we are excited to try. This is a great place to be, and it's a very hard place to find. Great, honest works of fiction can stand like a lighthouse in a dark night and call us to that place. Those of us, or those parts of us flailing in the sea, can go towards it and find dry land. Those of us, or those parts of us too far inland, can go towards it, and there can look out, breathe the ocean air, face the tough coastal wind, have our nose start to run, and become more alive. And if other people go towards it too, well, we will find each other there. That's all. Now further reading. For another personal, intimate, short, confessional work with a strong voice, has to be Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. They're very similar, these books. These two were even born at similar times, Roth in 33 and Sylvia Plath in 32. 32 and actually on my birthday, by the way. And Dylan Thomas has the same birthday. It's a club, of literary stars you can't join. But yeah, Bell Jar is great. Catcher in the Rye has many of the same characteristics, though I think it's not that good. It's definitely waned in a way that more than Portnoy's Complaint has, because I think it's less honest. For more Roth, there's so much. I think I've actually read more Roth than any books than any other author. He has a very interesting career because he basically, I admire this a lot, because he started with just himself and his family, very small kind of subject, and then only expanded very gradually as he got older. And I think there's kind of good humility in that. I think we could all learn from that, not just in artistic pursuits, but in life. It's graceful and careful. And his career is also interesting and unique because he famously had a big second wind in his kind of late 50s and started firing out masterpieces again. And that's not something that really happens. Generally, people just kind of lose it and don't recover. But yeah, further reading for the early stuff, I would do the Zuckerman series. Zuckerman Unbound, the second one, I especially like. And of the later books, I love American Pastoral and Sabbath Theatre. They are panoramic, ambitious, and they are breathtaking, and they're really heartbreaking. I think I cried at both of those, which now brings my total amount of crying occasions in this video up to 4, I think. But what can you do? Our album this week is Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. Happy New Year. If you want a resolution suggestion, how about be more honest, be more human, with no retreat and no surrender. That's a good one, but just remember, this is harder than it sounds. May you live forever. Take care.